And for our this panel, the topic would be optimizing technology in HR, unlocking the true potential of automated HR processes. So for this, I would like to call all our panel members on the stage. So I want everybody out here, please put your hands together for our panel members. The first one is Mr. Kavindra Pant, Head HR, Shapoorji, Pallonji, Oil and Gas. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Okay, so the next one is Mr. Giridhar, Vemuganti, Director, People, Operations and Business Partnering, Tata UniStore Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Giridhar? Mr. Anil Tyagi, Vice President, Global and Corporate HR from Kusum Group. Ms. Shweta Jain, our Senior Manager HR from ICF. Can we have a huge round of applause for the beautiful lady? The next one is also a lady. Please put your hands together for Miss Ashi, AGM HR from SAR Group. Just be careful. Okay. Last but not the least, our moderator, please put your hands together. A huge round of applause for Mr. Rajneesh Tomar, Head HR, Bikanervala Foods Private Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Rajneesh? So, Mr. Rajneesh, you are the captain. Now you can take over. So all of you enjoy the panel. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Hello, hello. 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 Very good morning, all of you. And I could see very less people in the room. I think it is early morning and people have a plan to probably join the next panel, maybe at 10:30. So I still recall my college time when we used to have a first class at 8:30 in the morning. So I recall probably missing that lecture all the time and getting the less attendance and poor marks in that subject. So life is always same. So whether we are in college or we come in corporate, so there are few habits which remain with us. And let me just share this morning when I was coming to the event, my son who's 9 years, he asked me, Papa, are you going to office? I said, no, beta, Papa is going to attend one event. Then he asked me, Papa, what is your role? Are you going to have only food or you are going to do something also? So I said, beta, Papa is a moderator. He said, what is traitor? I said, Papa is moderator, beta. He said, what does moderator do? So I told my son, moderator ensure the audience is engaged. Moderator ensure the panelists, they are asked the question what audience wanted them to speak. So he couldn't understand. He said, Papa, I'm a bit confused. I really do not know what is moderator. So he went to his friend. His friend is Alexa in the home. So he went to his friend. He asked, Alexa, tell me what does moderator do? So Alexa replied only one thing. The job of moderator is to ensure the session finishes on time. So this is what Alexa replied.
No, fortunately, he asked Alexa. He did not keen on ChatGPT. What does moderator do?
No,
so you're lucky there. You got saved.
So he's too young to use ChatGPT. So Alexa is his friend. In fact, so this is what he does. When his mother get angry, he tries to ask question, which of course Alexa does not respond. How to make mother happy for not studying. So there's a technology what we have across us, from WhatsApp to Facebook to Instagram. So wherever we go, technology always follow us, or I would say we follow technology, right? So no matter you're in lunch break or you're in coffee break, you always hold a cell phone in your hand. So you are hardly aware where is your wallet, but you are always aware where is your cell phone, no matter Apple or whatever phone you have. So coming to the subject, what we have today, it's about technology in HR, how HR, or I would say the technology enablement in HR simplify our life and making us more productive, more engaging, and more fruitful to the organization. So I would say uh, every single day we get to see lot many solutions. What we get every single day, every vendor come with a new or other solution across us. So to sustain, or I would say not sustain, to ensure that HR goes to the next level, not only HR, but the organization goes to the next level. So there are two things primarily what every organization has to take leverage of. One is to adopt the cloud-based HCM, and second, to leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that is something what every organization need to adopt. So sooner they adopt, sooner they get benefit. So if I talk about machine learning, or could be artificial intelligence, so a lot of chatbots, a lot of machine learning things are there. And every vendor, what all we have, one third of vendor, they bring one solution or other solution that is primarily into recruitment. So if I talk about recruitment, there is one thing called augmented writing. I hope people are aware, or if not, let me just put about augmented writing. Uh, the way we have Grammarly, or the way we have Gmail, which help us to not only improve the grammar, but help us to make the sentences quite clear and concise. In fact, there are applications in the market which help you to define job description in a very right way, leaving the gender biasness aside, making it more inclusive. And also there are softwares which talk about helping you with the recruitment, wherein they're gonna give you some keywords which will help you to find passive candidates. Not only that, uh, if I talk about the employee engagement, I don't talk about how to engage employees, but from the recruitment, rather than you ask the recruiter how the process gonna follow, uh, a candidate asks the chatbot what all things he is required to bring on the date of recruitment, what all process he is required to follow, and people, or I would say employee days have gone away when employee used to approach HR that how to withdraw pension, how to fill PF form. So rather than going on internet even, they go to the chatbot, they get their queries resolved, and the job of HR is more focused on the strategy now. Of course, meeting people, I would not say cutting connection with the people, but rather than people approaching you, why not you approach people to improve the connection with them? And for their queries, for their other things, leave to chatbot. And HR should focus on the strategic part. So with this note, I would like to commence the discussion. I have a very good panelist. So first of all, I really, thanks to all the panelists. They all came on time, and they all are equally excited to participate and to share their learning. And not only that, to have learning from you people. So no matter how much we go high in the career, every day bring some learning, right? So going with the flow, I would I started with the HCM, the cloud-based HCM. So that is something every organization, I would say, and there are organizations which are availing uh, ample of benefit from HCM, right? So I really want the panel to talk about how can HCM be aligned with the business performance goals. So I want Mr. Anil Tyagi to share insight on the subject.
Thank you, Rajneesh. And as you have rightly started, like, today there's a lot of information is required to the employees and people. So SCM to me is a very holistic, integrated approach actually. It is a practice and the tools which needs to, and tools is very important as you told about softwares what we must have. That's very, very important. Today, that expectation from HR is not of doing that administrative and operational work which we have been doing most of the time. The expectation CEOs and directors have that they should contribute like in a business and business performances. So how can we do it? I think one of the most important thing is what is expected from us as a HR. Expectation from us is the agility, efficiency, and timely completions of the task. So when I talk about the SCM and the tools, how it helps us, the important part is it helps you from right from hiring till the exit of the person. My own personal experiences, we are using certain softwares in our organization that employee experiences and employee engagement start from right first day. If I talk about hiring, so we have softwares like SAPs and all that. We have integrated it. You have you will have a very good database. You can have position-specific competency mapping done over there, and then based on that, you can hire a right fit candidate for your this one. It can help you to create a skill gap analysis as well. So that helps you to make your hiring process faster and efficient. We did in Kusum Healthcare. I'm from Kusum Healthcare, and let me tell you a bit about my organization. We are manufacturing in India and having operation in 26 countries. So we have a very hybrid and diversified workforce all across globe in CIS countries, African countries, then in Asian countries and all that. So SCM, that integrated approach is going to help you. Not only in your recruitment part. Recruitment is one of, hiring is one of which I was talking about. Second is what's most important, as Rajneesh asked me, HR contribution to the business performance. I think this is a question which is being asked by every HR leaders today when you are in boardroom. So when you hire a right fit candidate for your organization, based on the job specs, based on your MRF and with your technology-driven assistance, I think first job you have done. So you already are there as a HR professional into business success. Secondly, this tool, softwares helps you to create and find the skill gaps. What we do in our organization, when we are hiring the people in the software, we have the competency required for particular position. And when we are hiring, we map that competency against the what a candidate brings on the table. And then definitely there will be some gap. So we do the gap analysis, and the software and the SCM, the beauty that you get that gap analysis. And then we link it to the development part of the, the next part is the people development. That's how it is, we then align it to learning and development section of our organization. And that's across globe. Second important, Rajneesh, what we are use this technology and leverage this technology at the time of COVID. See, COVID, I think, has taught us many things. And to manage this COVID, I think our SCM tools have helped us a lot. We created a different employee experiences. We engage the employees through different solutions, different kind of engagement, surveys, and psychological and safety well-being, which we have taken care of. And imagine, if you are working manual, if you don't have the tools, is it not possible? So that is what is very, very important when we talk about SCM. Certain of initiatives which we have taken, like during COVID, we employed some doctors, created a health center 24/7, and we reached through the technology, each person, like if you ask me, we have around 1,000 sales force all across globe. So that is how HCM helps you. And then we used to create a lot of webinar, we used to create a lot of things. Then HCM for business performance, what is very important today, leaders look, CEO looks at you to develop, that way we talk about product pipeline. Product pipeline is very important for business, but I think people development pipeline is also very, very important. So with this HCM tool, the second contribution which we can do is developing the people. We have a beautiful way of doing it. When you do the skill gap analysis, then you have your performance appraisals and other informal means of doing it. From the system, you find what are the gaps and how you can do. What we have done, we have, partnered, integrated our tools with external learning solution providers like Udemy, LinkedIn, and we have created that kind of awareness among our team or leaders. Because see, HR basically will be successful when HR is a facilitator and he can keep and give the purpose to the line managers or the HODs. So we created kind of integration. That's one is the beauty I'm talking about of the software, but at the same time creating that kind of a people connect and assigning them certain kind of courses, learning solutions and all that, so that they can work upon that and then they can take it forward. So I think that's another important part which we are doing at present in our organization. Secondly, one important part which we have done, I think what COVID has changed. So as per me, one thing which COVID has changed, particularly in our Indian context, about the health. And when we talk about health, it is about employee well-being. I think a lot of work is expected from HR to be done into employee well-being, employee psychological safeties and health and awareness. So when we were ready, before even COVID, let me tell you, we were ready with the tools and all that. So we created a lot of programs related to employee health, well-being. We created health champions. We created policies and awareness through our system to all locations, be it manufacturing, be it global, Salesforce and all that. And then we created some kinds of a champion and aligned the reward and recognition also with that. And what we have done, other things was that we created categorization of the employees, not by post, because see we did annual, as we are in pharmaceutical, you require to do annual medical health checkup, which is routine, but we gave them the purpose why it is being done, and then we created a categories like critical, non so critical, healthy, and all that, and then we provided that facilitation to them. That is the other part which we have done. People correct. Another important part is what we have done through software, and it is through the SCM only. What we have done, we try to approach people. There's two ways. One is the technology, and second is the people connect. We devise certain kind of touch point to create employee experiences. So what employee experiences we created, how we created, we made a very participative engagement activities in the organization. And I told to my HR team that you are here just a facilitator. Create a participative kind of approach, have the people from other functions, let them say, have their say, and put it and go ahead. So I think there are certain things which we have done. And I can tell you one thing, a happy, not satisfied, happy and energetic employee is the one who becomes productive. And when person is, happy, satisfied, and you create an enabling culture around, I think he will definitely will add value to your business performance.
Very well said that if we can keep our employees happy, that is something what technology or any change what we want is desired for. And if any of the panelists would like to add something before I could add more.
I would like to add, hello everyone, good morning. I think what Anil said makes absolute sense. In today's time, I think what's most important for our employees. At the end of the day, as HR, we want to retain our talent. We want to attract the right talent. We want to retain the right talent. HCM helps us meet both these objectives. Also, what I think is very, very important is when we talk about business goals, when we talk about business objectives, I think it's really important. What do our people want today? Our people want to have their career progression in their own hands. They do not really expect, it's not like old times, traditional times when they expect, it will be a tenure-based promotions or it will be a merit, it's basically purely merit-based. They want the careers to be in their own hands. HCM helps us achieve that objective. How do we do that? When we are, I'll give you an example. When we are cascading goals, if you talk about goal cascade, it's very easy to understand how my individual goal as an employee is linked to my team's goal, how that is linked to a business goal, how that leads to my company goals. So I think system and the technology really helps us with that. And then second aspect that Mr. Anil picked up was on well-being. COVID taught us anything, and these are very unpredictable times we are living in. The way we work, the way we had always been used to working, it's completely changed. The new normal is remote. The new normal is hybrid working. For that matter, today, I am sitting here, I am working remotely from past 3 years in my organization. I rarely go to office, like once in a while. So that is a reality that we are all living in. Again, virtual, how do we make that happen? How do we keep those connections alive? How do we keep our people engaged? How do we ensure they are belonging, they have that sense of belonging to our organizations? Technology again helps in a greater way. Well-being, again, COVID taught us that. Well-being again is something that system enabled us to bring in a lot of well-being platforms for our people that they could avail any time, any point of time in the day. And that again is something that is really keeping our people engaged and happy. So these were the only two things I wanted to add. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And let me just proceed ahead with my next question will be with Girdhar. Of course, we heard much about the HCM alignment with the business and its objective and it, of course, with the people. So we want to hear about in what ways can automating HR processes promote organization growth and development.
Thank you, Rajneesh. Good morning, everyone. I think all of us here, HR professionals, we need to realize that HR professionals, we are here to enable the people for whom we are there and create value for the business. Any process which can be automated using technology, I think that should be the focus for all of us to enable and automate that process using technology. That should be the first one, what to automate. And then comes how to automate and what solutions to use and what is the cost and what is the benefit. So all these questions we'll have to answer. And the last one is what is the ROI, what's the overall success metric which we need to define while we pick up anything to automate. I think these are some points. Each one of us, when we go back to our businesses, look at it, saying that which are the ones which can be automated without human intervention. So I think these are some things which need to be always thought through day in, day out.
Wonderful. And we talked about in terms of organization growth and development. So rather than being limited to HR, I just got to recall one real time case. It is about Netflix. So Netflix, we all are aware what is Netflix now. But if I talk about in the early 2000, Netflix was a DVD rental company. So they used to courier the DVDs to the customers. And so Netflix, they thought in advance. So they overthought that can we stream the online movies? So it was never explored concept ever. So Netflix tried and they gauged the customer requirement, customer interest, customer taste, and they started an online platform. And not only that, they did not stop over there. They prepared all the algorithms. They put all the machine learning, which define, which personalize, and which showcase your interest and your likings, not likings. In fact, Netflix can get to see what shows you want during the week, what shows you want during weekend, and what is your interest. So that is something what companies are putting into their L&D also to see the user of L&D application, what all interest he lies, where all he left the previous course, the course would be started from there itself. And going back to Netflix, as of now, if I talk about Netflix, they have a capitalization of $200 billion. So that is something technology can bring into any company. And moreover, as I said, that let technology do its job, and we human, we have to do our job. And our job is to talk about the development, how we can escalate or how we can grow from X level to Y level. And technology, of course, would be our support partner. So with this, I want our next panelist, Kavindra Pant. So next question, I want to know that what do you feel that how does implementation of SCM technology lead to cost reduction and improve compliance and security in organization? Because that's where whenever we bring any software, so the first question what comes from IT, that what is the security, what is the compliance, and is it in the favor of organization or not?
Thanks, Rajneesh. It is a fantastic question, and which has been asked by both my CEO and my CFO as well.
Wow.
And that's their favorite question, that how it will be impacting with the cost and which will be helping in bringing about the impact to the bottom line. So
Because see, like every promoter asks the same question that I am investing, अभी बताओ बदले में क्या मिलेगा मेरे को? So
Correct.
that is the ROI we talked about.
So what I'll do is I'll take you through slightly to the history, and then probably will bring it to the current perspective. Because when we all started our careers 15, 20 years back, everything used to be, or rather most of the things used to be manual, and including the payroll, the attendance, the time office. Now with the implementation of the technology, most of the processes for which the HR fraternity or people working in HR have been automated. The concept of time office is totally gone. So it is basically the way it has impacted the overall cost is the people have been utilized somewhere else in terms of giving the perspective utilization in a better way. And the technology has taken over those manual tasks. Primarily, if you see that someone waiting to know, just to know his leave balance, following up with a HR guy who may be on leave or who may be somewhere else, busy with some other assignment, probably utilizing that particular time can be much more productive in his own line of business or line of function. So that is one aspect of it. So as and when the technology has grown, like Rajneesh as well as Shweta has also pointed out, the learning has been impacted. The way where we were working upon over a period of time, booking the hotels for the learning platforms, now everything has been developed online. That has helped overall the organization to reduce the cost and the implication towards the development. Now the learnings are available on a fingertip, even on a mobile. People are utilizing those particular platforms over a period of time. One of the major things which has impacted the way the technology has impacted using the HCM platforms, whether it is SAP, SuccessFactors, or Workdays of the world, or any other platform for that matter, it is primarily in the talent acquisition. So I'll give you a personal example where we have been benefited out of it. For the current project, what we have been working upon, we had an overall impact of, we had to recruit almost around 300 people over a period of 3 years and manage them, where my hiring budget was close to almost around $800,000. But using technology and using the social media platforms and all, especially LinkedIn, we could save on a huge cost to the tune of around $600,000. Against $800,000 of budget, we could manage it within $200,000 of cost. So that's how it has impacted all of us. And there are various other ways as well where technology has impacted in terms of retention, in terms of bringing teams together, creating sense of belonging. Though the human touch cannot be replaced, I firmly believe. because technology can replace only those things which human have been doing so far. So it is basically whatever are the processes which have been done manually, which has been done. But to grow, to further innovate, you certainly need humans. The second important part is the compliance part, which Rajneesh talked about in this. The compliance is, though compliances are primarily being driven by the external environment. Uh, let's say a few years back, if you will recall about the PF returns from 3A, 6A, everyone, even I used to sign for almost around 1,300 people at the end of the year signing all the returns. Now, it has, since it is a regulatory requirement, till the time the regulators do not change. So that is something which is helping us. But with the use of technology and with the change in the government initiatives and digitization of the platforms at the government level, at the regulatory level is also helping. Though this is a case in India where you can still do away or get away with the compliances, but people who are working with multi-geographies, like Mr. Tyagi, he will be aware, like we are also facing the same challenges, where at overseas locations, everything is automated and nothing, no manual interventions are required. So all the returns, everything. So that is something where technology helps us, because as and when there is a change in the regulation, the technology, whether it is SAP or all, very recent example where the tax regime has been modified, and we could implement that in no time. Probably with SAP coming into picture, they have released the patches and we could implement it in less than 2 weeks' time in our organization. So last part about the security. It is a major concern, but I believe that security is a holistic approach, and in the current situation and global environment, security is more of a IT security, we should term it as, not only the HRMS security, because we are in a world which is talking about the malwares, ransomwares, and various virus threats which is impacting the organizations, wherein the biggest of the organizations, without naming them, have been held for ransoms. So that is where the role of a larger role comes into of the various stakeholders within the organization, as well as the service providers. However, as far as HCM is concerned or HR is concerned, we look at providing the restricted accesses to people where people can work on whatever is available, the data which they should know, they will be aware of. So those are the areas, because HR also deals with a lot of confidential data which is pertaining to the employee personal records and all. And this again is also governed by the security laws. Though they are not very stringent in India, but at overseas locations you cannot play around with it. So those are my thoughts.
And you rightly said that any ACM technology, what all we bring to the organization, it definitely lead to cost reduction. If I talk about my organization, we have an application for the sales force. So we have close to 2,500 salespeople who are into the field all day and all evening. So rather than they come to us or rather than we come to them, so we have every features to put all the notification, what all HR want to convey to them. So before they log into the attendance, they get to see the notification from the HR. So if we have to notify them something, rather than they call us for any grievance, for any salary cut, for any TADA issue, so rather than they call HR, they simply put in the ticket in the mobile application, and our person who's the support partner, he has to ensure within 48 hours he does a resolution. And the resolution again goes back to the cell phone. So life has made easy. And if I talk about cost reduction, so rather than engaging the salesperson into his routine things, checking with HR, giving me a call, so rather than that, one should focus only and only on the sales front. So So that's how we are having advantage by efficiently utilizing the HCM. And nowadays we talk about robotics, virtual assistants, chat GPT, and lot many tools. So in fact, to my surprise, I am still not thorough with chat GPT. And chat GPT came in the market in the year September 2022. So it's been 5 months. In fact, I was saying to my team, it's been 5 months and we still have not explored chat GPT. So see how back we are. So we really need to upgrade, right, with the latest technology, because technology is something, if you reap the benefit within the required time, you get the required benefit. Otherwise, technology would be obsolete. And moreover, just to share one of the thing, uh, all the engineering graduates, what all they study in all the 4 years, by the time they complete their education, what all they studied in the first year become obsolete. So that's how the technology is rapidly changing. So the more we adapt, the more we adopt frequently, or being a fast mover, we can have the benefit. So of course, I want to know from Girdhar, right? So what do you say about how chatbots, virtual assistants, robotics, and AI can be used to support HR processes?
No, I think like what I mentioned when I spoke earlier, um, using technology to improve experience or free up the bandwidth for HR professionals to get connected to to the employees in the organization so that they create value to the organization. So using technology, AI, chatbots, I mean, there are multiple ways in which we can use. Say, starting with, if we have an HR professional need not be only a help desk to the employees. We have chatbots can assist. I mean, the questions, the routine mundane questions can be automated. The responses can be easily fed into the chatbot, and chatbot can help, especially when you have a multi-location workforce spread across all those aspects where the answers can be readily available. You have to train the bot, and then bot will be giving out answers. And wherever there are no answers, there can be a ticket which can be raised to the respective team, be it a payroll ticket, be it a HR related ticket, or be it anything to do with an employee versus the um, transactional part can be done away with. So that's on the chatbot. Using AI, a lot of these things, like what we are saying, the recommendations in terms of job matches, the way what Rajneesh was mentioning about Netflix, using AI on what sort of courses are can be accessed, can be completed by by each employee. Considering what skills are required, what is the role, what is the future role, what's the path defined. In this way, we have taken baby steps in this direction. Um, I think on the recruitment side of things, a lot of technology intervention in terms of using AI in recruitment process. How do you fasten up bringing people on board and bringing the right set of people on board? How do you identify the right talent using these technologies? I think these are few areas in which we start, and of course, you will have to be very clear on what should be the ROI. Yes, there are many platforms, many solutions available. Which one suits in your context, in the budgets? What is the ROI? All these factors need to be considered before we take that decision.
And any comment any panelists would like to make on the chatbots, maybe in your organization, or any robotic or AI you have of late started to use? Okay, so let me just talk about in our organization at Bikanervala Food. Uh, we do at the outlet, we do a lot of customer engagement programs wherein people come for dine-in to have chola bhaturas and butter naan. And earlier, if I talk about the old days, we used to ask people to write their name and number so that we can send them a message. So what we have truly stopped. So they have a scan code wherein they can not only order food, it asks the name and number. and also your date of birth and date of anniversary. So no matter the visitor is only one-time visitor, we ensure to send him the birthday, the anniversary, so we get to have a personalized experience to the visitor. So no matter if someone has visited in our Dubai outlet, maybe in Singapore, maybe in New Jersey, or maybe in India or Delhi. So we have the same process wherein with the help of AI or with the help of chatbots, we get to offer a customized experience to every person, because that's what we look for. So no matter it's barista or whatever outlet you've been to, wherever you get to have personalized attention, because if you by the time you're in outlet, you get to be entertained or attended by the a person over there. But with the help of chatbots, even after he has gone a year back or 2 years back, he still get to have those messages, right? And moreover, whenever we launch any new dish, any new discount, any Rajasthani food, we do forward the message, but not in the routine marketing note. Rather, we send a personalized message that today is your anniversary. Why not to take your wife to a Rajasthani outlet with a lot of authentic touch and singing and dance. So that's how we send a personalized message to people. We talk about a lot of things in HR. We do payroll, we do employee engagement, and no matter we make rangoli also in HR. So my thing would be that Shweta, how do you feel that all the routine assignment, routine things, or maybe what all HR does yearly basis, quarterly basis, how can technology simplify the task for HR and for the employees also?
Great question, Rajneesh. Thank you. I think we've been discussing the benefits and how it simplifies our lives as well as our employees' life right since when we've come on the stage. If I put it in words, I think the first step, the first benefit that I see and how it simplifies is reduced paperwork. As soon as we talk about technology entering into the systems, we have a much better employee experience, right from starting to a candidate applying for a job to an onboarding process wherein the onboarding has gone completely paperless today. There were times when, the day one of your joining would probably go in, spending endless hours filling endless forms, one after another. Now everything has gone paperless. In fact, in my organization, if I talk about, especially with, the COVID phase, we went completely paperless, wherein we had our joining formalities done as part of pre-joining. So as soon as an employee has accepted the offer, has accepted the employment agreement, as soon as a candidate does that, they automatically get a set of set of forms, which are called pre-joining forms, that they get to fill. So I think that really creates help employee have a better experience and also helps HR and employer manage the data. That is just one example. Similarly, at the time of offboarding. So basically, the complete employee life cycle has become, I will not say it has gone completely paperless, but definitely a reduced paperwork. So I think that's one of the biggest advantage that we all have. Then if I talk about our HR systems, many times, I'm sure we all have seen that, our systems do not talk with each other. We have a separate system for payroll, we have a separate system to manage employee data, we have a separate system, say, for time attendance, timekeeping, and we may have endless other systems. And these systems do not talk, at least until a certain point they were not. And then that creates a lot of work pressure, and that, analyzing the data, having the data on real-time basis. With technology, we are able to integrate the HR systems, and that really, really helps because we have everything on real-time basis with us. Payroll, I believe that's one of the biggest pain point all of us have. And integrating that with our HR systems help us, there's no duplication of efforts. We can rather spend that time doing far more important tasks that we actually want to concentrate on. So that's another example I can give. Then I also talk about employee self-service desk, right? That's what Mr. Giridhar was also talking about. How at a certain point of time we were spending a lot of, HR is no longer a help desk, which is sitting and just asking and helping people with their queries. We have chatbots to take care of that. We have, what it has resulted in, how does it benefit? It's a dual benefit. Employee feels empowered to take care of their own basic things, getting their basic details modification done, getting bank details changed. That's another thing that we keep on getting all the time. Simply entering, getting into the system, entering your details, it automatically reaches the payroll. It gives that kind of empowerment to our employees. They feel that they are able to use their time in a much more productive manner. At the same time, our HR folks, it's not admin driven, it's not admin burden that we are carrying, and we are able to spend our time doing things that really matter, that really create value for our processes. Then I can also talk about so endless benefits we have, but I think another important benefit that it has is workforce matrix. We can have reporting on real-time basis. If I talk about attrition, say for instance, you actually have the data over a period of time on real-time basis available to you in seconds. And when we analyze data, when we look at data analytics, data has a story to tell. And when we look at that story, that gives us the actions that we need to take. It gives us the areas where we need to work on. And then that results, taking actions on those points help us not only with hiring, gives us some of the best business decisions that we can make, not in terms of hiring, but also how to retain our people, how to create a better talent experience. I'll give you another example that we've done. Talent reviews, succession planning. Again, another very, very important aspect that we need to take care of on a yearly basis. Having the data readily available, and especially since we have moved to Workday, I think almost 5 years ago, my organization moved to Workday. With that, the data has become very, very handy. And again, as I was saying, analyzing that data has helped us take some key decisions on where and how to retain our talent and what kind of succession planning we need to do, helping us stay ahead of the curve. So that's what data has done. That's what technology has done. And these are just few of the examples I'm saying, and I know it's, I'm just repeating what everyone else has been saying here. The benefits are endless, and this is how we help. And it also has brought in a lot of transparency. And that is, again, what our people are seeking today, our millennials, generations, that they want transparency. They want to have open, honest conversations. So, yeah, that's my two bit to this. Thank you.
And we talk about bringing AI, chatbots, everything. But there is one challenge, or I would say there is one thing which remains still undefined in the organization. That all these, I would say, white-collar worker, all these gray-collar worker, they are the one who get to use the application with a smartphone. So my question goes to any of the panelists. How do you see in your organization, especially keeping in mind the blue-collar worker, how do you see the adoption of technology with the blue-collar worker? Any one of you can take the question.
So now, in the current environment, technology is something which is available on the mobile phone as well. So it is basically how the organizations are leveraging that. Because if you have made some tool or implemented some tool which is only available at laptops or desktops, not available on mobile in terms of app and all, so that probably will not fly. So we have to look at the overall implementation of technology, which is handy and which can be utilized across the levels, and it is so easy to use. Because we have used it while in our current project, where people at the yard level across Singapore and Indonesia, Batam yards, we were able to reach out to them across through the mobile platforms and app-based technology. So that is something which is the key, that what kind of platforms you are using and how you are percolating it down. Something has to be enforced, something has to be primarily, people needs to be motivated to use that.
Very true. That is only people, and that's where HR come in picture to share the purpose with the end user, that what is the objective and how it can be benefited to them. And Ashi, I just want to ask you that what do you feel, what are the key features of technology that allow HR to monitor and analyze worker performance?
Hi, morning everyone. Thanks, Rajneesh, for this. I would actually like to cross the line a little bit and say, we've been talking a lot about HR and we are here for HR. We all are HR people. But I would also, during my discussion with all of you today, move a little bit to the organization side as well to understand what does business think of it. So we have already spoken a lot about how a lot of HR processes can be, and they are automated as on date, whether it's onboarding or offboarding, payrolling, uh, leave status and status of your Mediclaim and all. So everything, and you know, they're all doing brilliantly well in their own spheres, whichever software that we all must be using. So that frees up a lot of time for HR. And how we use that time has to be business aligned. We could use that for employee engagement sessions. And mind you that when I say it, because no matter how much of automation and technology that we move towards, it is the humans that drive technology. We train technology as to what the technology is supposed to do, right or not? So we define that. Engagement is one piece where we can get involved with. We can also drive performance in case we as an HR team, does free up a bit of our time, connecting up with our bottom performers, connecting up with our top performers, understanding where the performance is having a lag. And we've already spoken about retention and succession planning in the same lines as an extension. So it does free up a lot of our HR time to look into something which is more productive and more valuable from the business perspective as well. Now, there is another thing to it, moving, like I said, a little organizationally. From a plant and manufacturing perspective, we do use a lot of automation, robots, assembly line productions. Isn't that all successful? It is. And today we run our manufacturing plant in shifts to make the quantity more appealing to the business. And that's what we do, and that's how the employee productivity gets increased. Also, I come from sales background, so inventory and warehouse management is something which is very important. Can you imagine hiring workforce who manage your warehouse during the peak season, and what do you do during the off-peak seasons? You have to lay them off and then hire them back. Especially in the rural areas, it's very difficult to find them. So we've got stores like IKEA across the world, which is 100% managed by, 99% at least managed by automations. And they're error-free, they're faster, they're quicker. I don't have to downsize anybody. I don't have to perhaps pay salaries to them. There is a little bit of offboarding that needs to be done. So a lot of these comes as an advantage. Also, how it improves employee productivity could be how we communicate. The WhatsApp, you know, it's real time, it's on the go, it's very crisp, what we want to share, how we want to share. And today, WhatsApp is also taken as an official mode of communication in most of our organizations. So how we communicate, our reviews today happen on Teams, Zoom. I think none of us is new to that post-COVID, right? Now, can you imagine if I'm reviewing somebody in Bangalore, if I'm being reviewed by somebody in Bangalore or anywhere across the world for that matter, traveling down to that place, coming back, the kind of money that's involved, the kind of efforts that's involved, if I'm cutting that off through automation, there is a lot of improvement in the business bottom lines today. And that's what some of us have spoken about, how automation also touches the business ROIs. And that's what it is all about. How we communicate with people has changed as on date. The data crunching allows us to look at the opportunities and the risks that are involved with business and with our people. What do we do with them? How do we handle them? How do we have to improve performances? All of that come from the data crunching. So technology is to be taken with a little bit of pinch of salt for me, because I always believe it's the humans that drive the technology. Let technology not drive humans. Yeah, and I'm sure all of us people sitting here in the room would agree to that. Do not take the human out of human resources as we move towards technology. Let technology be driven by humans, that's fine. It still continues to be and will continue to be an artificial intelligence. It cannot compete against the human intelligence. Our degrees, our experiences, our aspirations still vary, and they will continue to matter to all of us. Another little bit of pinch of salt with technology. Sorry, I have a bad throat today. A little bit of pinch of salt with technology again, last but not the least, would be it continuously needs a touch-up. It needs an involvement in itself. So make sure we go back and forth with technology. Say hi to them periodically to say, hey, dude, how are you doing? So when our genie responds to a lot of our employees to say, this is your leave balance, sir, we also got to talk to our genie back and say, how are you doing? Is it relevant anymore or not? I think Giridhar touched upon that a couple of minutes ago to say what we need to use, how we need to use, how much we need to use. Make those sensible decisions with the business before we embark on that journey. And that's what is going to be impacting the productivity. Technology by itself, launching it in the organization is not going to help. We got to handhold the technology. Yeah? Thank you very much.
And Ashi, you beautifully said, I must appreciate that don't take the human
out of the human resources.
Out of the human resources, that's a beautiful
I vouch
way.
for it.
And I could make out that we are being signaled to stop,
Thanks everyone. Thanks Rajneesh.
not to have any further gyan over here. But before you conclude, I appreciate if you have any question which any of us can reply to. Any questions, please? Oh wow! Can you please give the mic to the lady first? She raised the hand, and then to the gentleman.
So we would be taking 2 questions, only a couple of questions, and thereafter, if somebody wants to ask, they can ask you personally after that.
Fair enough. I totally agree because the stage is yours. I have to obey only.
It's just that we don't have much of time. That's the only thing because next panel members are waiting for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, all of you. I have a question that ma'am has said the technology, the remotely she is working from last 3 years, and sir has told the human touch is very required. So is it very confusing to us that whether technology is good for us, whether the connection is very important?
Yeah, no, I think Shweta made the statement. However, I think I resonate with what she said. Keep a fine balance is the key. How you create the balance is going to be an HR and business priority, of course, but I think most of us do know how that balance exists. So keep a fine balance. Know what ends where and know what starts where is the key to it. The moment you feel there is something which is slipping out and the moment you sense there is something, do connect up, do get into that touch. However, that may not be required on a daily basis. Yeah, I hope that answers.
Hi. I would also like to add, I think technology helps us enable how we want to work. It's not the other way around. So for instance, when I mentioned that I've actually been working remotely from past 3 years, the technology has helped me enable that way of working that I wanted. My organization is in a hybrid work mode wherein we, work out of office once in a while. But how did that happen? How could I make that happen? It could only happen with the help of technology because, with all this Microsoft Teams, all these connections, the virtual meetings that we have, that has kept the connection alive. So that is what we need to focus on how we ensure technology is not, again, as Ashi was saying, technology is not leading us, but we are leading technology. We are using it to the best of our advantage and to keep and continue the connections and belongingness alive because at the end of the day, you cannot really remove the human touch or the connection. So. Thank you.
And can we have the next question, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Arushi Chok. I have a question. As we all know, layoffs are happening big time as of now. So, and this is very concerning for all of us. So do we have, from the HR point of view, an improved or an updated strategy that can lead to unleashing of human potential in an unimaginable way? Because I feel that's the zone where all the skills and competencies come from, and that's what we are, as an HR, we're concerned about. So if you could please throw some light on that.
I think layoff, of course, as you are telling, is becoming reality today. But what we need to do, my own experiences, and because of business, we are moving from VUCA to Bani and all that things happening, Ukraine and all that. It is really creating a problems. What we have done in specific, I am telling, we created counseling centers, skill upgradation, and doing a hand-holding of the employee for some time. That's what I think as a HR we can do.
also one more thing. Apart from a skill development to these people we are laying off, we can also provide them with an outplacement service. And that's what I have done very successfully.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your opinions. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for your questions. And thereafter, what you can do, because we have a breakfast networking over here. So thereafter, at the time of breakfast, you guys can, if you have any question, you guys can ask them. Okay, so with this, we would like to proceed for the felicitation. And for the felicitation, I would like to call on stage. Please put your hands together for Mr. Andrew Davy, the CEO from Qunity. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, everyone? So with this, we would be starting our felicitation. I would like to call on stage. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Kavindra Pant? Mr. Giridhar Vemuganti. Everyone, can we have a huge round of applause? Mr. Anil Tyagi. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Please put your hands together for the beautiful lady out here, Miss Shweta Jain. With this, we have our one more lady over here. Please put your hands together for Miss Ashi. Okay, last but not the least, our moderator. Please give it up for one and only Mr. Rajneesh Tomar. Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew. And all of you, you guys can take a picture. Okay, so with this, we are end with our first panel of this day, our second day. And after this, now you guys can proceed for the networking breakfast and speed.